Oh, okay, so I can fix this thing. Work the angle a little bit because this looks awful. Okay. Fixing up the tripod. No one's on this thing still, so. There's absolutely nobody on this live feed. Nobody. Oh, there's someone on now. And I'm still fixing the tripod. I'm sort of have it except for one of the legs. So now you gotta fix that last leg. And we're almost there. There we go. Okay, so this is kind of improvised and off the cuff. That's why I said off the cuff. I was actually a little bored. I was warming up. I've been having a little bit of some elbow pain as of late, and haven't played in a couple days. So I started warming up because today I have rehearsal with my band. Let me put this backing track back because I haven't played with it like at all. I hope the, oh wait, what's going on? There you go. So yeah, I'm just warming up a little bit and just jamming. God damn, man. I still don't understand this thing all that well. Oh man, I keep doing the exact same thing. I send it back and then it ends up playing. Let's see. Okay, finally. There we go. Let me pause this. So yeah, just still drinking some coffee and just warming up a little bit. I'm probably not gonna save this live just because it's random like this. I have nothing prepared. So if you have any questions or anything, don't be shy. Just write whatever you want. You have any random comments, write them down as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna jam for a little bit, and if I see any questions or whatever, I'll answer them. Okay, so here we go. Let me know if the levels are fine, if you can hear everything fine, because this is just the camera audio, so the guitar is probably gonna be a little low, and let me just, and the backing track could be a little low as well. So just let me know. Okay, I'm starting to see some comments. What is super Locrian? How to use them? Super Locrian. Okay. A lot of people like to call altered scales over low grade. I have plans to do an altered video soon. Let me turn on the lights because it's getting a little dark. Let me see if this one works. That's a little too bright. Okay, so super low grade is just altered, and what altered is just, you can see it as, let me turn this thing off. You can think of it as, let's say it's the major scale, but all the notes are flat. So in terms of the formula, so you get like 1, flat 2, flat 3, flat 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7. You could also think of it, and this is probably the most practical way of thinking about it, is 1 flat 9 or 1 flat 2. You could say flat 9, whatever, but just to keep it in to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 terms. So 1 flat 2, sharp 2, 3, flat 5, sharp 5, and flat 7. So it's pretty much all the alterations. You get like a dominant sharp 5 arpeggio or a dominant flat 5 arpeggio with all the alterations. So again, you get the 1, the 3, and the flat 7 from the dominant, like from a dominant chord, and you get the flat 9 and the sharp 9, and you get the flat 5 and the sharp 5. So again, you get all the different type of altered 9s and all the different types of altered 5ths. Now the most common use for this scale is over a dominant chord that's resolving. So what I mean by this is, let's say you have, let me turn all these effects off. I'll just leave the reverb. So if we're in the key of C major, keep it simple, and you have a G7, which is the 5 chord, and it resolves, and the next chord that goes after the G is actually C. That means it's resolving because it's the 5 chord of C. That's what a resolving dominant chord is. So you could play the altered scale to that G chord, from that G chord. So you would get, man, I don't have a loop or anything, but I do have, I'm playing over the chicken right now, so the chicken has a whole bunch of dominant chords. I could probably show it there. Let me just go through a simple run here. So I'm going to play G altered over G7. It sounds like this. It resolves down to C. So it's just, again, it's just a resolving dominant chord. And then resolves down to C. That's pretty much what it is. Let me play the chicken again. Let's see. There's actually a 251. I don't know if you guys know the chicken, the song, the chicken. There's a 251 there, like all dominant chords. It's D7, G7 to C7. So that G7 is functioning as a resolving chord. And you could insinuate different, like the B flat 7 going down to E flat 7, even though it's not really the way it's functioning. Since the song is in B flat, it's not really a dominant, like a functioning 5 chord, but you could make it be a functioning 5 chord. So essentially you could play like normal blues or dominant or whatever type of scales that you want to play that are non-resolving, like Lydian dominant, like maybe whole tones, some stuff like that. And then right at the last measure, you can play altered and make it sound like it's going down to the E flat. So see, now I'm gonna go into altered here. So it makes you want to resolve to the E flat. So it's almost like you're reharmonizing the piece for little bits through improvisation. So it's kind of cool. You could do that with a whole bunch of different things, and that's another way you can use alter, just injecting it even though it's not really there. Okay, let's see, any other questions? I hate that the comments disappear on the screen. I have to keep swiping. Swipe or no swiping. Hi Juana, any hybrid picking legato licks you can teach us? Cheers. Okay, so I usually go through the same ones because it's the ones that I keep practicing. These things do take time. I've only been doing like full-on legato things. I mean, I used to do a bunch of legato things um, way back, but it kind of stopped because of hand problems. Because legato does require a bit of left hand strength and stamina, and all those awesome things. So I've been practicing legato again for about a year. I haven't really been doing it that much, so I keep doing the same exercises, maybe add something new here and there. I'm actually working on a full-on legato course, which I'll be probably selling through my site. Not sure about that just yet, but probably. Um, so the ones I've been practicing a whole bunch are like thirds. So just if you've ever practiced just normal thirds, picking everything, it's exactly the same thing except for legato and hybrid picking. So here you just go, you just pick the first note, and then everything else is legato. And then when you switch to the next string, you do hybrid picking, pick again, hybrid again, and legato. It's a little weird in terms of like the first time I did it going up. It does feel a little weird, but you get used to it. And then going down. Okay, so I added some shit at the end of that. This is another pattern that I like to do. And then come back down using the thirds. So this one's just starts out like that famous Paul Gilbert alternate picking thing. So pick the first note, hammer on everything else, switch, and then pick with the middle finger. Not flipping you guys the bird or anything. So relax. Calm it down, YouTube. Then on the next string, pick it with the middle finger, and then pick again with the pick the sixth string, and then come back to the fifth, pull off, and pick again. Oh, sorry. That's another important thing. You want to make sure that your nails are in good shape. Like they gotta have a good shape, because if not, exactly what just happened to me right now will happen to you. Is the ends of the nails will get stuck on the string if it's not rounded out. And the other thing is, if you've been doing hybrid picking a lot and you use the end of the nail, a lot of people like to use the fingertip. A lot of people go full on nail. I like to use a little bit of both. Hello, kids. It's Benson here. Okay. Sorry, it's just saw someone writing. So yeah, you might see the man, freaking thing doesn't focus. Let me get my face out of the way and see if it focuses on the fingernails. Nah, I can't do it. Anyways, the end of the nail kind of starts filing down just because of swiping the string. So you got to keep that shit in check with your nail file. I think that's about it in terms of like, there's a whole bunch of other like hybrid picking / legato things that you could do, but yeah, it's just a matter of different patterns. Another cool one, actually, let me get into this one. It's just doing some string skipping stuff. And it's pretty convenient in terms of, since you're not picking everything, string skipping is actually a little bit easier in this fashion with the whole legato hybrid picking thing. So that might be another cool thing you could try out. So keep doing that type of thing. Let me see, what else do we have here? Did you use hybrid picking? Marshall Harrison and toasting? I do not. I've never worked on it. I've seen the Marshall Harrison videos on Swybrid. I think it looks pretty awesome, but I haven't sat down to actually practice it. Looks kind of difficult to pick up at first, but I'm pretty sure that once you have that nice motion, it comes in pretty handy. Wow, Antonio, slowly. Wait, okay. Okay, what? Sorry about that. It's the coffee. It's got me a little wired. What? Do you want me to explain again the hybrid picking stuff? The last leg I did? Okay, so I'm gonna figure. I figure you're talking about the hybrid picking thing. So the last leg I did. So let me explain it again slowly. So pick the first. I'm in C major. So what I do is I pick the first note, hammer, hammer, and then switch. Like I jump the string, so I go to the fourth string, and I pick with the middle finger. Again, I'm not flipping anybody off. Back to the sixth string. So up until now I have this. Oh, cool. Pick. Then back to the fourth string. But this time I'm playing the C note on the 10th fret. Pull off. Pick again. And that's pretty much the whole thing. Fourth string and hammer-ons. That's pretty much the whole movement. I think I did it differently before. Yeah, I did it differently. So, last one is not just hammer-ons. Hybrid pick the fourth string, hammer, hammer, pull off, and now that's the end of the lick. And then keep forgetting little pieces. So the sixth string. Let me look at the whole thing before I keep saying that's the end of the lick, and it's not. So hammer, hammer, pull off, pick on the sixth string, hybrid pick on the fourth string again, and then pick sixth string, pull off. There it is. That's the whole thing. And then you can finish it there, but then changing to the next string is going to be a little weird, so you probably want to finish it with that. I keep messing up the explanation. I'm sorry. This is not prepared or anything. It's just off the cuff. So pull off, hammer on. Now that's the end of the lick. Jesus. There we go. Now you can safely switch strings. You keep switching. You can keep applying that all over the scale. Play it horizontally, play it vertically on the different shapes. Okay, Luca Aleto, let me see the first. Which are your studies about Holdsworth, and how do you know that? Let me see, Holdsworth again. I'm trying to read all the comments you left, I'm sorry. What know about Holdsworth studies, about Holdsworth harmony. Okay, so it's been a long time since I've practiced any Holdsworth stuff, like years. So I'm a little rusty. Like the only things I remember about the different Holdsworth lessons I did was, I have a couple of them. I have the permutations one. I have the I forgot the name of the different chord voicings. It's the intervallic structures. I have the intervallic structures, and I have the full-on, like the old Holdsworth lesson, which is probably the time I was actually super hooked on Holdsworth. That's probably the most I've ever sounded like Holdsworth. So it's been a long time. I was actually in college. It's probably, what, 10 years ago? I don't know. You probably check on YouTube. Anyways, so the thing I probably apply the most now that I still have from that is some of the different chord voicings. and the actual permutations. So in terms of the permutations, I don't remember a lot of the harmony stuff. Sorry. Um, it's usually very specific, but you can play around with. Let me go into the harmony first, because I'm starting to remember some things. Um, so there are some songs where he just does like constant, it's constant structures, where what you would do is just grab, like, figure out a chord you like, and in doing that, you could use intervallic structures. So you could go like, pick a note. I want a second from there. I want a sixth from there. I'm keeping everything secret or private, not all official. Also work. As in, still secret, private, not all official. Secret, private, not all official. I don't understand. I'm gonna keep to the explanation. I'm sorry. So tonic. I'm going a second from there. Then from this note, I'm doing a sixth. I'm doing everything in C major. And then I can go. I'm in E, so I could do. Let's do a third. You could do something like that. And that would be an intervallic structure. If I were to analyze this chord, it's some sort of. You could use it. It has a major seventh in it. It has a ninth or a second, and it's doubled. So right now, it's not either a major chord. It could be a major seven chord, or it could be a minor major seven chord, which would be super interesting because you can hear that sound. It doesn't sound dark at all, like a minor major seven chord does. Like it doesn't sound at all like that. But since it has no third, it essentially has no restrictions, so you could do melodic minor over this chord. Sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty freaking cool to me. So that's something you could do. And then once you have one of these chords, you can move it to certain places. So you can move it up in major thirds. And then maybe a minor third from the first place we did it. Let me get a more Holdsworth type of sound out of my board. Oh man, I took out the pedal with a modded. That's okay, I can still use this guy. So, let's do this. Oh, sorry, messed up. See, already it sounds a little bit like Holdsworth. Now, at this point, I'm thinking it doesn't sound too much like Holdsworth. It sounds more like some Planet X type of thing. A little more progressive. It does have a little bit of that Holdsworth tone to it. And the other thing I do have is some specific Holdsworth voicings. Like this guy. This guy's from, I think it's House of Mirrors. I don't really remember how to play House of Mirrors because, again, it's been so freaking long since I've studied any of Holdsworth things. Now, the cool thing is, you could write out a pretty trippy progression with chords like these. And that reminded me of a Foo Fighters song. It's chords like these, I'll play and play again, or some shit like that. Okay, so let's say you have a chord progression like this, and you're going. This is essentially a C major chord. It has the major third, the ninth, and the seventh. So it's a major 9, and then you move it down a minor third, and that already breaks up the whole. Like, it's not like diatonic harmony. It's more like a constant structures, like I was saying before. And if I had my looper here, which I don't, I would loop this, and then you can start going at it with some, like something like this. So just, you can create a melody type of thing with that. Now the other Holdsworth I was gonna the other holds for thing, I kind of like rushing. I kind of want to fire so many things as I'm talking that I don't say anything at all. It's weird. Um, Let me try to calm down. That freaking coffee's got me running at a million miles per second. So the other holds for type of thing um, that I tend to mention a lot is the permutations. And one really cool permutation I love is 1, 2, 3. We turn on the off the delay. 1, 2, 3. Then 2, 1, 3. And then 1, 3, 2. Now that's the way I used to do it before, when I was like this, like a huge Holdsworth fan. I mean, I'm still a huge Holdsworth fan. It's just I'm not practicing his stuff that much. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2. But then I just ended up switching that last one for this 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I keep playing that same. Then at the end, which is more of a like Tom Quayle type of thing. And then if you have another cool thing that you could do, it sounds really cool when played fast, is like descending thirds using the whole tone scale. Turn off the delay, that just muddies everything up. So you could do something like that. I really don't like the sound of this amp, man. Anyways, you know what? Let me turn down the gain a little bit, turn down the treble, and see if that helps. And then apply the same run I did as before, except now with the whole tone. So that already gives you a little bit of that type of Holdsworth legato type of thing. That's the other thing. I never really practiced. I did some Holdsworth type fingerings, but I haven't really practiced Holdsworth legato, because he does like super pure, or he used to do, rest in peace, like super pure legato. So it's everything is just hammer-ons. Even the what you think would be like pull-offs, you just hammer. So I don't do that. I do pull-offs like whenever I can. So yeah, it's not like pure Holdsworth legato. If you want to see something like that, you can go to like Marshall Harrison's channel, who's a complete beast, or even Rick Graham, again like a super freaking beast of a player. There's a ton, like what's his name? Oh man, the super Holdsworth guy again on YouTube. Oh, I can't believe I forgot his name. He's always using like headless guitars and stuff. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of amazing Holdsworth lessons on YouTube that you can check out. Let me look at more things. I like the way your fingers are so relaxed as you're doing those runs. It looks so effortless and smooth. Thanks. But it's, yeah, I suppose it's trying to hit the string as little as possible. And since I am a little hurt, like my arm is a little busted right now, I'm trying to not hit it too hard, because I was getting yeah, my hands, sorry, kind of comment popped up and I got sidetracked. Yeah, so I'm a little ADD like that. So man, okay, so I'm trying to fret as not like not effortlessly, and just try to hit it as smoother as possible. I don't know, like as soft as possible, just so I don't hurt my hand too much. And since I have a rehearsal today, like I was mentioning at the beginning of the video, I haven't played for about a week or two. About a week, I think. About a week. I have played, just not really actually practiced, because my hand has like a mad flare-up of like inflammation. So I'm trying to hit it everything as little as possible. And I do have rehearsal today, so I decided to warm up. And as I was warming up, I decided to do a live because I was bored. And if you want to work on that, there's a really good like Kiko Laredo video where he's talking about effortless playing. He has this really good exercise that I had never heard before, where it's he picks like he just fingers the guitar. He puts his fingers on the guitar on like on the frets, but he doesn't push the string down. He just lays them down where they're supposed to go on the scale, for example. And then he starts pressing little by little until you get a tone. And then he wants you to be really aware of that. That way, like right now I'm getting a sound, but I'm barely pressing on the string, like barely. Super soft. I really want to get more into that because it's more like effortless playing. And I bet like right now, like all that fast stuff right at the end was just almost barely pressing the strings. So in reality, you don't have to like murder your guitar. You don't have to choke your guitar when you're playing, and that helps with stamina. It helps with not hurting your hands, which is a biggie for me because I have shit hands. Like they keep getting hurt. Just I know it's in part because I'm a fucking asshole. I keep practicing way too fucking much. Um, Even though if they get sore, but whatever. I keep trying to better the technique just so I don't get hurt as much. Because I do want to play until I'm old. I don't want to bust my hand where I have like a hook for a hand, and I do want to play fast stuff. Like I mean, that's where I've always been attracted to it since ever. Even though I do like nice chord stuff, um, and I do um, like melodies and more like smooth things. But I've always been attracted to playing fast, so I definitely don't want to stop doing that. I just you gotta find better ways to do it, not to fuck up your hands. Um, okay. Did I listen to Jason Becker's new album yet? I've listened to a couple tracks. I haven't listened to the whole thing. It's pretty cool. I listened to that last track he released on YouTube, and it's pretty freaking like it's kind of heavy. Like you listen to it, you listen to the lyrics, and you can get caught up emotionally. Like I'm thinking about it, and I can feel something already. It's pretty like knowing the whole history behind him, and like I'm a huge fan since I was a kid. Watching the documentaries, and it's pretty heavy just listening to a song where he's mentioning like life had other plans instead of what he wanted, and it's heavy stuff. It's heavy stuff, and it's I believe it's incredible what he's doing, and it's incredible motivation. It's like someone that's been in his like situation for so long, and he's still pulling out music. It's like wow, it's incredible. It's incredible. Super inspiring. I mean, that information about Holsworth studies are still not totally accessible for everyone. Sorry for my English. Okay, sorry about that, Luca. Um, yeah, I mean, it's getting more and more accessible with the internet. Like all information is getting more accessible. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't want to sound like an old guy because I'm not like super old. But I did go through the transition like before internet. I lived the whole before internet, now with internet, and like all the kids now like developing like this. It's ridiculous. Like I had to go to school for all the information that I got. I didn't. Like, now it's just all blasted all over the internet. Like, the crappy thing about it is that there's no like specific timeline to what you should be doing. At least in like the basis with like harmony and theory and ear training and all that type of thing. That's the only thing that's kind of messed up about having all that information, not having like a formal, um, like a guide, like some guiding light showing you what you should be learning step by step, and then learning all the things you want to learn, as well with the things you gotta learn at the same at the same time. Sorry. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Like kids now are playing amazingly, amazingly like amazing stuff, and at like a super young ages. And I believe it's just because there's so much information out there. So I believe in terms of the Holdsworth stuff, yeah, a lot of it is not super out there, but if you find like guys like, for example, Daryl Gable, that's the guy I was thinking about before. If you take lessons with him, or if you buy some of his stuff, like the guy is like a Holdsworth encyclopedia. He can totally show you a lot of the Holdsworth things. Now, the other cool thing, the other really good thing that you should be doing if you're like super interested in Holdsworth is either transcribing some of the specific things you want. If it's chords, if it's harmony, study the harmony. Like buy books about them and buy DVDs or stuff, and study exactly like what's the harmonic relationship between the chords, what's going on here. You'll figure it out. If not, transcribe, and that's probably the best way to go because you work on your ear. Transcribe the different lines if you want to solo like him. Transcribe everything that you can get your hands on, and it's gonna help you out. So it's not as exposed as, I don't know, like shred guitar, um, but there are ways of figuring it out. Mira, mister, ¿qué es la que hay? Hashimadara. No sé quién es Hashimadara. Si saliera el nombre, pues te puede dar un saludo más especificado, pero específico, whatever. Pero yeah, aquí hangueando. Mr. Fox, you're amazing, bro. Thanks, man. Best place to learn music theory only for guitar on YouTube. Wow. That's, I don't know. That's probably the best question, the best answer. I don't know. I know a lot of like Rick Beato stuff is amazing. Like Rick Beato is super amazing for theory. And theory, it doesn't have to be specific for guitar. Like theory can just be like harmony and theory and all that good stuff. It's just, it's general information, so it doesn't have to be all about guitar. You can figure out things on like harmony theory stuff just based on not on the guitar, on any type of instrument. Actually, the piano is really good for harmony and theory type of stuff. I don't really play piano, but I've sat down and figured out things on piano, and like even you can even hear them better on the piano instead of the guitar. But again, coming back to the question, probably Rick Beato. I'm not really sure. Specifically for the guitar, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna go with Rick Beato. Either Rick Beato or Adam Neely. Although Adam does tend to go more into like history stuff. But yeah, I like those ones. We can go back to the comments. How about Neo Soul's style? I think it's pretty. Oh yeah, Neo Soul is pretty freaking awesome. Follow Tom Fuji's channel. I think he's pretty awesome. I've seen some of his videos. I just haven't seen a whole, like enough, to give an opinion on it. But he's a crazy fucking good player and a really good teacher as well. I mean, he's like a professor at Berkeley, so you can't go wrong with that. Eso lo sabrás la semana que viene. Tengo un presentimiento de que sé quién eres, pero pues. Thanks for the info. I'm an old guy. I'm in my 50s and I'm learning. The one thing I learned really quick was the position of your hands, even the thumb, make a big difference in my skills. Yeah, it's like depending on what you're doing, the hand positioning is very important. Like for, again, more legato, more scalar, more, what you would call, how would you say this? More linear type lines, more linear type of movements. Yeah, then behind the neck, like a little bit above here. That's the other thing. You got to keep the hands straight, no matter what you're doing. Like relaxed, like this. And then for like bendy stuff, it's good to put the thumb over here, because that way you're not pushing with your fingers. You're pushing more with your wrist and your full. Oh, what the hell! The string just kind of came off. I Thought I broke it. Um, you do it more with your wrist and with your full-on arm, and you're not just using your finger power, because that can take a bearing on your fingers if all the bending is coming from the fingers. And that's why a lot of like younger students don't, like, it gets harder for them to bend, because they do try to do everything with fingers, and a lot of times they get flattened bends, like they're trying to get to here, they might go like that, because you need a little bit of thumb action there for for it to be I mean, it's just, you need a little bit more power behind the bends. The other thing is using all the fingers behind the finger that you're using to bend to help, again, help with that. Manas das. You retracted your comment. What are you doing? Mr. Fox, what gauge are your strings? I use 9s. I mean, I kind of think about going back to 10s. I used to use 10s on all my guitars. But again, I've had so many hand problems, and I wanted to make it as smooth as possible. Like, I didn't want to make it a chore. And at least for me, I was going to say the fact of the matter, but it's not really a fact. It's just subjective. It's my opinion. The difference in sound between 10s and 9s is not that great. There is a little bit of a difference. It can get a little too sparkly with the 9s, especially the first string, and it's a little bit harder to get good action, even though this guitar has really good action. Although on my other guitars it's a little weird. So again, I kind of want to do 10s just so I can lower the action a little bit more and not get fret buzz. Right now I gotta fix this one, because the first string is buzzing like hell, and it really fucks with my mind, because if I want to do like nice chords with something like, let's put a bunch of delay on this thing, like something like that. That first string, I don't know if you can hear it through the phone because of the shitty audio, I'm sorry. But that first string, it's buzzing like hell, and it drives me nuts. It drives me really nuts. Let me see what else is going on. So yeah, I use 9s. I think about switching back to 10s, but I don't know. I don't know how hard it's gonna be. Like I remember going to NAMM last year and playing all the guitars, and just after like 3 days of fucking around with the guitars, my hand was starting to get inflamed. So I don't know if it's just I was pushing myself a little too much, because it's NAMM and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta play like fast shit, or if it's just that it was the 10s. So I don't know. I mean, you could probably get enough conditioning in your hand to play any other type of strings, but with like hand problems, it kind of messes with me. This has actually been a good year. I haven't really got too many flare-ups. This is like the first flare-up I get during the year, so I'm happy about that. Going back, the only thing missing is like a guide, like what to learn first or last. Only thing I can do is like fill the gaps of knowledge of little music theory, you know. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, since it's all like free information on the internet, then that whole, you just get it like bumps. And the other thing is with the, what do you call it? The whole YouTube algorithm, like you gotta do like hooky stuff. Like if I do like full on real information with like the actual names of the concepts on the title, no one's gonna see those videos, because it happens to everybody. I have to, just remember, I have a really good, like a good friend of mine from school. He has this amazing channel, and he doesn't have that big of a following, just because he does that. He doesn't market the videos too much, but the content on them is amazing. It's incredible, and he does go step by step. His name is Lee Wanner, so it's LeeWanner. Check his channel out for like guitar stuff. But yeah, like you gotta do more like hook stuff, so just so that the videos can get out there. And eventually I want this to be like my business, so I can do more videos a week. If I could do like like a full week of videos every week, like 5 videos a week. That'd be awesome. But I have too much stuff in between. Like even like not too long ago, I got like I believe most of you guys know I speak English and Spanish. Like Spanish is my main language. But again, if I want to get the videos out there more, it's probably better to do English. Like all the metrics and analytics say that most of the guys that actually watch my videos don't speak Spanish, and so a bunch of guys have said like, okay, that's like we get it, that's okay, but try to add like a translation at the bottom, and it's like it probably takes longer to add the translation than it takes to edit the videos. It takes like 2 hours or 1 hour. So you got to go word by word, and on a like 10 to 15 minute video, it's a killer. It's a killer. If YouTube would do it just on like by itself, that'd be awesome. But I don't have enough time to do that. I wish I did, and I wish I could put out all the videos in like same performance and just one in Spanish and one in English. But again, I don't have enough time for that. If I was like a full-on YouTuber and the only thing I would do was that, it'd be awesome. But right now I have like 2 jobs, which is cool because they're both like teaching music, so it's all music. I have gigs, I have studio sessions, I have to record stuff at home to give away. And since like again, like I pretty much don't make anything from my YouTube videos. It's freaking hard. It's freaking hard. How about Jeff Berlin's method? Like, don't play with metronome and don't practice with feeling. What? Don't play with a metronome and don't practice with feeling. I haven't really studied Jeff Berlin a whole bunch, so can't really say anything about that. But I don't recommend not practicing with a metronome, especially nowadays. Like, you got to be able to record with a metronome, and you got to be able to punch everything in. You got to play with feeling. I mean, you have to play with feeling, and because if not, it just sounds dry and technical. And you have to be able to play with a metronome. If you want to be like a professional musician, you got to be able to play with a metronome. If not, you're not going to be able to play in a studio. It's going to be impossible. If you can't play with a metronome, like, if you can't practice with a metronome, forget about heading into a studio. Because you got to go into a studio and you got to be able to not only play with a metronome, but you got to play well with a metronome. It has to sound organic. It has to sound nice. And if you're struggling with the metronome, it's not going to sound very human-like. It's going to sound more like a machine, and you're just not going to get called back. Oh, yeah, I got it. Okay. Hello from Argentina. Saludos, Luis. I'm from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Gente que te puede hacer las traducciones, pero te cobran. Speaking Spanish in now video. Spanish in now video. ¿Quieres que hable ahora español? No sé, ¿qué quieres que tú digas? ¿Qué quieres que diga? Porque no quiero... I don't want to alienate other guys that speak English in the live feed. Pero sí, saludos, supongo, no sé. Así, como que mi lenguaje principal es español, definitivamente. Un poco pateado. Pero yeah, español. What are you using to edit your videos? Final Cut. I'm using Final Cut. It's pretty cool. I'm still getting the hang of it. I'm trying to get the hang of it, the hang of my camera, actually. So, like, I kind of want to go get the camera now. I don't know why, but I want to. I'm spazzed out like that. I get jumpy like that sometimes. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out like the different settings on my camera. I got it recently, and like for editing, it's just Final Cut. I gotta get me like some sort of color grading software or like After Effects or something like that to make them look really good. But yeah, I'm still getting the hang of that. What DAW do you use? I use Logic right now. I really like it. I don't know if my computer's I don't know if the memory's full or something, but it keeps crashing. Jesus, you guys keep asking for stuff. My computer keeps crashing Logic if I do more than 5 recorded tracks. Like it can't sync anything. I could do like hundreds of program tracks, like violins, drums, any type of stuff like that. But if I do recorded stuff, it tends to crash. What kind of camera did you purchase? What kind of computer? Okay, let me go get the. I could probably just move the camera, but let me go get the camera. Computer, I'm using Mac Mini. I bought it a while ago. Yeah, I'm all sweaty. I don't have air conditioning here. I have this big fan back here. It's not really hitting me that well. So I got this camera, which I still don't have to hang on. I gotta get the lighting a little bit better in here. I'm still not super happy with my videos. But I'm starting to figure out this thing, and it's a Canon Rebel T6i. Now, the biggest difference between the T6 and the T6i, this thing. I can do that, and since I record everything on my own, I need that, because before I used to record everything on my phone, and I would use not the selfie camera, but the other side of the camera, and I would have to record the videos like 5 times because I would keep cutting my head off, like out of the picture, or keep cutting like essential like guitar licks and things. And yeah, I went with this guy. It's like, I don't know, $100 more, $50 more, but I need it. I don't have like a team, like a bunch of other YouTube channels, like, or even like 1 or 2 more guys to help out. I'm just doing everything on my own, so I totally needed the flip screen thing. Yeah, I think that answers most of the things. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the Gibson Fender thing first, and then I'm going to the picking method because it's a bit of a broader answer. So Gibson and Fender, both. Like I kind of enjoy Fender a little bit more. I'm more of a Fender, like a Strat, specifically Strat type guy. It's even this thing, and that, even though it's like a super Strat type of thing, but the neck is like standard Strat kind of size. So I prefer Strats. I prefer the sound of a Strat, just for me. But you kind of need both. You kind of need both the sounds. You gotta need, like, eventually you're gonna need like a Les Paul type sound, and you're gonna need like a Strat type sound, especially if you're doing like studio stuff, because live you can get away with a whole bunch of stuff. Recording is a whole different beast. If you're doing your own thing, then you can pick and choose, but if you're doing stuff for other guys, they might say, I want more of that chimey like bell sound, and it's like, okay, that's a Strat right there. I want more of a nasal sound, which I didn't really have to do that because I have a nasally voice anyways. But if it's more nasal, again, more nasal bells-ish, that's more like a telly. If you want more of like a bigger, woodier sound, that's a Les Paul right there. So really, you need a little bit of everything if you're doing studio work. If you're working just on your own music, then you can pick and choose based on what you prefer. And in that case, I prefer like a Strat type of sound. Even with this guy, a lot of the times, I prefer putting on 2 on the 2nd position and on the 4th position, which is more or less like, oh, that's the neighbor going getting crazy with a motorcycle. Yeah, I kind of prefer the 2 and the 4, just because it's more chimier like a Strat. Even though for like solos, depending on the situation, I go to the one which is more nasalier. That's not even a word, but whatever. Sounds a little bit more nasal, which is cool. I'm down with that. And then the next position is rounder, more like, I don't know why I want to say Petrucci-like, because even though it doesn't sound Petrucci, but his sound is like super round, super, like, I wouldn't even know how to describe it. It's just round. It's very smooth. Like this one's more nasal, more like recent Guthrie Govan like ish. Like this is single coil more, and this one's like a more nasally single coil, and then this one's like a hybrid between both of the pickups. So it's round yet nasal. Again, keep saying nasal. Nasal spray. I'm guessing that I know what you mean, bro. Wilmer, comment. It's about doing everything yourself. Yeah, freaking. It's not. I mean, it's a whole bunch of work. A lot of times I get burnt out. Like a lot of like I haven't done a YouTube video in like 2 or 3 weeks. It's just I've been freaking burnt out. You get tired of doing everything and not really having a life. Cause like I get up. Like recently I've been working out, so I've been going out to the gym at like 6 a.m. Come back, work on like studio things, like not studio things, like projects and solos and things that people send me. Then I gotta cook for work, head to work from 2 to 8, come back. Depending on the day, sometimes I have online lessons at night. And then after that, I gotta do like start editing. So that's from Monday to Friday, same freaking thing. And then Saturdays, I actually work from 8 in the morning to 6 o'clock, and then I head out and I actually do something with my girlfriend, like at nighttime. And then Sundays are a crapshoot. That depends. Sundays depend because I might have like studio session or that's the other thing. I have rehearsals and gigs, like rehearsals during the week, probably after work. Like today I have rehearsal. And so Sunday, or I might actually go out and do something. Or not, or if I have anything that's backed up, I gotta edit for YouTube. And that takes a while. Yeah, so you can get burnt out really easily. Let's see what else we have here. Humbucker or single coil? Both. I keep saying both. It's just I like having variety. It depends on the day, really. I could use a certain type of analogy there, but I'm not going into that. So I kind of prefer the single coil sound, just because I'm more like I've always liked like Stevie Ray Vaughan type of sound. More recently, like the whole Nick Johnston type of vibe. Although more recently, with like all those street picking type of things I've been working on, I'm kind of heading back into humbucker. Like when I was younger, I was full on humbucker guy. Then I've gone through a single coil phase for like 2 years now, and then kind of in a mix of both depending on the situation now. But when I'm with the band, it kind of depends on the situation again. It's always gonna depend on the situation. So Mike the situation. No, sorry. If it's more like rhythm stuff with the band because it's like a huge funk hip hop type of band. I can get away with using single coils, but if it's my parts that are coming out the most or that gotta fill the most, I'll probably go into a humbucker because there are 2 guitars and you need a little bit more oomph and it has to cut the mix a little bit too much. And if it's for like a solo, even though it's not my favorite type of sound, I usually go to the bridge pickup because there's like 13 people in my band and it gets pretty freaking hard to cut through the mix. So I need something that has some highs, something that cuts through the mix and it's powerful enough to cut through the mix. If it's like a trio, then I can get away with doing leads with like a single coil, or I don't want to talk shit about sound guys, but yeah, that's the other thing. You gotta kind of, since it's 13 people, I mean, I feel bad for the sound guy, but at the same time, it's like, dude, it's my freaking solo. Get the freaking sound up, like get the sound up. But so yeah, I gotta use the bridge pickups because that's just what I gotta do. I gotta help them out, I suppose. Jazz 3 or red? Jazz 3 red or black? Red. I like red because it has a smoother texture. A lot of guys like the blacker one, like the black one, because it's rougher, so it's for them it's easier to get a good grip. I prefer red for the exact same reason because it's smoother and it feels like I get a better grip on it. I don't like the black one, even though it feels like it has a little bit more friction. Um, I don't know why. I just prefer the red because it's a smoother surface. I believe it's a different material that they're doing with that they make them with. But yeah. ¿Cuál es tu banda? Mis Gallo. Ya pronto tenemos show. How many guitars is enough? None. Not none. I mean, not none. Like all the guitars, as many as possible. That's the answer. Now, I don't want to be like a Joe Bonamassa guy with like hundreds of guitars, and I mean, especially for me, like I don't have the money Joe Bonamassa has, so he can totally have as many guitars as he can. But I definitely do not want to live in a shitty apartment with like 100 guitars. I prefer having a good place where I feel good and have like 5 guitars. Like have every different one of each guitar that you can have for any situation that you need. I think that's enough. So maybe a good acoustic, like steel string, a good nylon string, a good like a telly, a Strat, like a metal guitar, Les Paul, like one of each. See, this is what I mean about shitty apartments. Right now, like the electrical, like the wiring in this apartment sucks. So right now I'm getting shocked through my guitar. Even though this is phantom power, because it's freaking phantom power, it makes no sense that I'm getting electrocuted. But yeah, electricity sucks so bad that I keep getting shocked. Let's see. Thank you for your generosity in sharing your studies, the PDFs on your channel here on YouTube. It's not everyone is able to acquire your material. Or Pella has access to free materials in this. Sure thing, man. I mean, I enjoy it. It's just I get burnt out sometimes, but I totally enjoy it, and I especially when people write to me and say like I've been playing for so long and like this information really helps out. Like those types of comments, like I remember I got this really amazing comment. I think this is from a guy from Argentina on my Facebook page. No, it was a guy from Cuba, and he was saying that he didn't have access to a lot of like information, and like he wrote this really amazing email, like very heartwarming email. And like I see those things, and it's like, no, man. I like even like when I think about stopping, I see those messages, and it's like, no, I gotta keep doing this. I gotta keep doing this and helping out as best as I can, because you wanna be able to make people like have a better life, like the best way that you can. I'm not like a huge like I'm not a science guy where I can come up with cures for things or make amazing like discoveries for like humankind. So I'm a musician, which is kind of a I mean, yeah, it's doesn't have the heavy those heavy implications. So I kind of want to help out how I can. So I'm thinking this is probably the best way of doing things, just putting stuff out there and helping people out with their questions and stuff. So any way I can help, I try to do it. I see. Loved your solo on that international jam video. It's awesome. Did you learn your approach soloing or a backing track like that or similar? Would love to. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Would love to learn your approach soloing over a backing track like that or something. Okay, so for the international jam and pretty much all the solos I do for different things, I usually sit down, do a couple takes, just jamming, find a good idea. Like I end up doing what I do is I record the takes and then I listen back and I go, okay, this one sounds good. This sounds good. This sounds good, and I start picking apart little pieces that I like, and then try to put them together and coherently. And the other thing is, oh yeah, you do that with certain melodies. So you want to have some sort of contour. It's like a solo is like a small composition. So you want to have some sort of hook or melodic device that you can repeat and develop. And then, especially for the international jams, you got to have some flashiness in there. It can't just be like a really nice melody. So maybe add some quick licks or things that you've been working on. Um, and that's pretty much my approach. Do a couple takes, add, like, make sure that it has some sort of melody. You don't want to be just shredding the whole time, even though I did one that was like kind of like that. I don't mind it, but it was, I mean, I didn't have enough time to do a fully composed solo. Um, and then, so yeah, some type of melody and some sparkle in there because you're in there with so many amazing guitarists. So you, you need to put something out there that's flashy. I mean, that's just the way it works. Have a good day. Well, see you. See you, Jose. Take care. Have you received any invitation from any company to be an endorser or something? Sadly, I have not. I've actually reached out to a couple of companies, and I've been denied by everybody. So, but yeah, you keep pushing stuff out and see whatever happens. It'd be nice. Like that's like a bucket list thing right there. I would love to do like clinics. I will not. I'd love that. Would be like a dream come true if I could like travel around doing clinics for some company. Because you get to see the world, and you get to see the world like playing. You know, it's like part of the job. Even though it's not, you probably don't get to see as much of it. It's not the same as traveling like on vacation because I know it's gonna be work. Um, but it's still playing. I mean, that's that's a dream right there. So hopefully, in the future, if I keep working on stuff. Um, so yeah, I haven't gotten any invitations, but I would love it if you know somebody. Is your book available in PDF format? I live in South Africa and would prefer not to ship here. It's not. I've reached out to the publisher a couple times, and they don't offer PDF just because of like piracy issues. Even though like you can get piracy issues with any type of format, with just like the physical format. Um, but but yeah, I don't have any. I don't have it in PDF. Sorry about that. I've gotten a bunch of emails asking for that, and no, it hasn't happened yet. Let's see if hopefully in the future. I don't know. Sorry about that. I have been playing metal or blues since 3 years, but I got to know plenty. And was either a young player from any more modern player or hard to transform my playing style. Uh, so you wanna modern player, but it's hard to transform my playing. So I'm guessing you're asking like how to change from what you're doing to from the metal thing to something more like what they do. Um, the only answer I can come up with like on the fly is just sit down and study what they're doing, figure out why they sound like they do, figure out why they choose the notes they do for the different melodies. Okay, apparently the connection went down for a little second. Sorry about that. And then figure out what they're doing and try to apply and try to inject that slowly into your playing. Because I mean that happens to everybody that's been playing for a while. You do have some sort of style already built up, and breaking away from that, it's gonna take time. Like like I was mentioning before, I've been adding legato, and it's been almost just a little bit less than a year since I started practicing legato again, and it's just been right now that I'm starting to see some differences where it's getting faster and cleaner little by little. Um, it does take a long time, so just keep at it, keep studying those guys, and figuring out how you can employ some of their techniques and concepts to your own playing. Again, not trying to don't try to copy them, just add some of their elements to your own thing. Like keep your sound, even though you're trying to change from metal to their type of thing. They do have a lot of metal stuff, like heavier riffage type of thing. So you don't have to discard that completely. Just add new elements into your own playing and try to mold that a little bit more towards what you want. Can you suggest me how to approach myself to adopt the modern stuff? Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's the question I was answering already. Man, don't stop. Your content is gold, and moreover, your channel is growing. Keep going. Yeah, I'm totally gonna keep going. I'm not gonna stop. Don't worry about that. But again, thanks for the message. Yeah, I'm totally gonna keep going. I found your channel looking for Nick Johnson lessons. You've been very helpful. Thanks a lot, man. Um, I gotta do more lessons. Like, now I feel bad that I haven't done any lessons in a couple of weeks. Have you purchased Rick Beato's book? I have not. I have a friend of mine that did, and I looked it over a little bit, but I haven't really studied. I just flipped through it. There's so much information in there. It's like a very thick book. You could probably purchase that, and that's all you're gonna need for the rest of your life. Probably, I don't know. It's a really good book. It's a really freaking good book. I'll buy the physical then within the next 2 months. Then thanks for the lessons on difficult writing, interesting chord progressions. If you have any tips, okay. So it depends on what you call interesting, or yeah, interesting. The latest thing I've been checking out, I'm actually writing a book on this. I'm just stalling because I'm trying to do an album, and it's taking me longer than I wish because burnt out. You can't really write a whole lot of music when you're burnt out. But yeah, I'm actually doing a book on modal interchange, and I believe that's a really good approach, even though I'm not using it for like chord progression stuff. But the whole basis behind that is, I don't know if you've heard, I've mentioned this in a whole bunch of my videos, like the whole harmonized scale thing, where you have specific chord for each. I wish I had all the graphics on here so it'd be easier, or at least a whiteboard. You have a specific chord for each degree of the scale. So if it's the major scale, you have the 1 chord is major 7, the 2 chord is minor 7, the 3 chord is minor 7, the 4 chord is major 7, the 5 chord is dominant, the 6th chord is minor 7, and the 7th chord is minor 7 flat 5. And then the same thing comes, you can figure out the same things from Dorian and from Phrygian. Like from Dorian, you have the 1 chord is minor 7. I don't want to go through the whole thing again and run out of breath. But the 1 chord is minor 7. The 2 chord is minor 7. The flat 3 chord is major 7. The 4 chord is dominant. The 6th chord is minor 7, and so on and so on. And you can figure out everything. And even if you don't have the tools to figure it out, you can totally write it out. There's like Google modal interchange, and there's probably going to be some tables written out. You know what? I'll probably do a lesson on it a little bit later. And what that does, if you figure out, even if you just stick to the major scale and the major scale modes, you're going to get 7 sets, like 7 tables worth of chords. And you can pick and choose from those different chords. So for example, my band has this song, which is called Jonasi, and it's a minor progression, but it has some chords borrowed from Phrygian. So we have the first chord is A minor 7, but it has like a natural 9. So that can either come from Dorian or Aeolian, probably Aeolian. Then the second chord it plays is a flat 2 major 7, and that's a Phrygian chord. So it's like minor, Phrygian, minor, Phrygian, major for the tonic chord. It switches all over the whole thing again. Flat 3 major, which is like, it could be from, let's say it's back to minor, A minor. So let me finish the chord progression and then I'll go over it again. Flat 3 major, flat 2, so 4 minor 7, flat 2 major 7, and 1 minor 7. So if we're thinking about it as where do the chords come from? So minor, Phrygian, minor, Phrygian, major, minor, minor, Phrygian, and minor. And then kind of repeats the same thing. And this is the this is again from Phrygian. It's no, this is not from Phrygian actually. It's not from here. Oh no, that's the same comment. Sorry about that. And so we have it's a major 7. Sorry, I kind of got spaced out there. Freaking I hate it when this happens. Where am I? Anyways, the whole concept is picking and choosing different chords from different areas from different, not tonalities, but from parallel scales. So what I mean by parallels is, in this case, everything's going from A. So you can get chords from A minor, you could get chords from A Phrygian, you could get chords from A Lydian, or you could get chords from, I don't know, this could be anything really. It could be A major, A mixolydian, A mixolydian here. You could get chords from any of those parallel scales. So that's a good way to find cool chords, or cool chord progressions. The other thing I tend to enjoy a lot is what I mentioned before with the constant structures, where you find a good, cool voicing. Oh man, let me see if I can get a cooler sound of this. So you get that, and then move that same chord to different places. So minor third from there, minor third from there, and then down a half step. Things like that. So that's pretty much what it is. What makes the that's a couple different concepts for building interesting, at least what I think are interesting chord progressions. Sorry about all the flitchiness. I keep getting lost. I swear I have ADD. I don't know. I guess if you do some gear reviews, the endorsements will come. I've done a couple, but definitely not enough. I gotta do that also. It's a really good idea. What makes the Stern guitars different from the others on the market? For me, it isn't particularly the sound. For me, it's the feel of it. It's just, it feels so good. Like right now, this guitar is home for me. Like I do have a bunch of other guitars. They feel good. It's not that they feel bad. But this just feels like home. So I keep playing this one. So for me, it's the feel. Of course, it sounds really good. This one's like very versatile. Like I can get like more like that type of like clunkier nasally sound. I can get more that type of more spankier sound. Then this one, a little bit rounder. This one, even though it has a whole bunch of hums, it's more of a single coil type-ish, more like telly sound really, like a telly single coil. And then you have this guy. Which is rounder. And if you roll down the volume, we take the reverb off, so you get more of this type of jazzier type of deal. This is actually what I started the playing on the video. Once I started the whole thing. So it gets that type of sound. And I really like also the single coil, because this has no single coils, it's just splits. The single coil sound with the tone roll down. Turn this back on, roll back the effects level. Freaking fret buzz driving me nuts. So it's very versatile, at least this model is, and it feels like no other guitar, like really in terms of what it feels like. At least for me, it feels like home. It feels freaking comfortable, like really comfortable. And again, in terms of the feel, it allows me to play different styles. Okay, no, that's good. I thought I heard my car alarm. Um, in terms of sounds, it allows me to play different styles in terms of the feel. Because sometimes you feel like you play a guitar and you just kind of want to play a certain style. And with this guy, I feel like I can go to different genres and not feel weird about it. I don't know if you guys get it. Like on my headless guitar, I just want to play like fusion, Holdsworthy type lines, more modern fusion type things, and I don't want to bend like at all. But on this guy, I can bend. I can play rock on this. I can play jazzier things. I can play more fusion things. Even though the fusion things I want to play are more like Guthrie Govan-esque and not so much, or maybe Tom Quayle like, but not so much Holdsworth like. It's weird. It's weird. And with my telly, I kind of want to do spankier things and more groovy, like funkier type things. So everything is, I don't know, it's weird like that. Wow. Okay, I'm getting a little behind on the questions. Jesus. I'm gonna try to go over the questions a little bit faster. Book and model interchange would be awesome. I'll be looking out for it. I'll try to work it out as soon as possible because I do have most of the bulk of the book written. I just gotta get the literature and the actual exercises on it done, and then work out the whole art. So once the book is done, it takes about 6 months to a year to actually publish it. It's weird because of the art, the copy. What's the term? Whatever, when you have to read it and check that everything's fine, and I gotta do that like 6 times, make sure everything's right, and probably something's gonna go wrong anyways. And then you gotta turn it in. How do you approach your ideas to exotic scales? Depends on the exotic scale. Depends on the sound of the exotic scale. It depends on the way it flows on the hand. Like if it's something like diminished, you can get away with doing different fingerings, and if it's something more like melodic minor or harmonic major, then probably first study the scale in as many ways as possible, like on specific shapes or positions, and then study study it on single strings or two strings or mini patterns, as many different possible ways as you can. Um, study them with I keep losing track of what I'm saying. So yeah, just study them in as many ways as possible, and then try to begin getting vocabulary, be it through studying other people or through just studying on your own, like different permutations and figuring out different vocabulary. Like when I go into melodic minor territory, my playing is way different than when I'm playing like strict major stuff. And when I'm playing strict major to when I'm thinking more pentatonic, it all shifts and changes. So it's important to have vocabulary that adapts to the scale. What time is it? Because I have. Oh, okay, it's still already. I'm good. With mode, the harmonic minor scale is interesting, frigid dominant. That's true. A lot of people use that in very different areas. So you might get it in shred, like Ingve likes frigid dominant a lot. A lot of Latin music has it, like salsa, even Latin jazz. Some like some of the native music. That's not really the word, but music from here in Puerto Rico actually uses it a lot. In Parker here. What is the main difference between caged and three notes per string? And I feel most players kind of skip the cage system and go for a three note per strings. I started with just two patterns playing by ear. Then I went to school. They gave me the cage system. I learned that, and and then I kind of went through the three note per string thing on my own, a little bit. Um, I think they both have pros and cons. Like the cage system is really good for visualizing things on top of another. So cage system is pretty much you have positions based on open chords. So like it's different octaves based on open chords. So C, A, G, E, and D. So C would be this position right here. A would be this position, this octave. But if I would keep it all on the C, this would be C. This would be A. Jesus, I'm getting stuck here. This would be G, and it's called G because this is the G chord right here, like here. Just basing it off of that position. This is the E chord, and this would be D, and that's caged. And essentially, what you do is you figure out every single bit of information that you can on those positions. So I'm gonna pick, I don't know, this guy. If you need the C major scale, or I'm gonna take it step by step. If you need a C triad, it's there. If you need a C chord, it's there. If you need the C major scale, it's there. If you need C major 7, if you need all the different chords like D minor 7, E minor 7, F major, everything's there. G7, etc. A, B minor 7, flat 5, C major 7, everything's there. So that's the cool thing about the the cage system. Again, sorry, and C major pentatonic. If you need C minor pentatonic, is there. Everything's there. Like both systems are good. It's just a matter of distributing the information a little bit differently. The only thing that's not really great about the cage system is that it's not super symmetrical in terms of fingerings. Unlike the three note per string system, it's weird because the pros of the cage systems are the cons of the three note per string system, and the pros of the three note per string system are the cons, and vice versa. Sorry about that. Um, so the cool thing about the three note per string system is you get very symmetrical patterns. So it's always going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So if you want to apply permutations, you can go 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. The picking is going to be the same, so you can apply things like economy picking a little bit easier. Not that, and for the cage system, you'd have to go, if you wanted to do economy, you have to go economy, 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 alternate economy. So it's not, you have to adapt your picking a little bit more. So it's going to be a little bit harder for the picking in terms of, like for the cage system, but for the three note per string, but it's easier to visualize information or concepts using caged. Three note per string is a little bit, not all over the place, but I mean, I don't know, you get adapted because you could essentially do the same thing for three note per strings. You could get like major 7 arpeggios that are based on three note per string, even though you probably have to adapt them. Instead of going like this way, you have to go this way. Both are good. I say I hate the whole debate, three note per string versus caged. I believe you should learn both, really. I mean, if there's people out there learning, I don't know, rocket science and all of this amazing information, like you already know how to speak, like you already know how to speak a language, you know how to use a computer, you probably know how to cook some things, I don't know, whatever it is that you do for a living, you already know how to do a whole bunch of things. So you know you have the brain power to learn 2 different systems. It's not that hard. It's 5 positions for the cage, 7 positions for three note per string. So what's the debate? Why go with one above the other? So learn both. Learn both. Major seventh. What do you mean with major seventh? Are triads the ultimate thing for soloing and creating melody? What do you think? Chord tones. I think maybe not triads. Triads are a really good way of doing melodies, but I think chord tones, which is essentially the same thing as triads, but with chord tones, if it's like a major seven chord, then you need the major seven for the full-on chord tones. I think chord tones are probably the best thing for improvisation, for creating melodies, because you can visualize really good, like the perfect target notes. Everything's gonna sound good. There are no bad notes when you're just using chord tones. Don't just use chord tones. Use extensions and scale tones for soloing, just to mix it up a little bit. But definitely, chord tones are probably the best way to go if you want to approach a more melodic, more professional sounding type of solo. Yeah, chord tones are pretty much the secret to sounding like a professional. That's what it is. That's actually what I'm studying right now. Um, I'm studying how to play chord tones and play changes over simple pop-like progressions. So I don't know, like three major chords, like very simple chord progression, um, and you want to make something that sounds really good, like super good, like production type soloing, and not just flexing with all your licks and tricks and all that stuff. How those progress are made? I mean, they think only about the scale notes or follow a particular chord progression. That depends on the guy writing those. A lot of guys use chord progressions and write riffs and licks over those chord progressions. A lot of guys just write out the riffs. So that's gonna depend on the specific approach of each person. Specific, like if you wanna study someone in particular, then I don't know, watch interviews on how they approach different things. Um, and yeah, and try to apply whatever they're using. But that's gonna change from person to person. I'd raise that first string at the bridge just a tad and take a look at the truss string. Yeah, yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta do that. I recently moved to the other side of the island full time, and I believe I left the the tuning tools um, at home, like during the whole, not at home because this is home now, but at well at my parents' place with um, I believe I left the Trumbull, like in the whole transition from my old place to this place. I left some stuff at my parents' place, and I gotta go get it and bring them over here. Um, yeah, I'm finally reaching I'm catching up to the questions. Hola, soy Diego de Buenos Aires, no entiendo nada, pero la música universal. Eh, como te digo, o sea, no entiendes nada porque estoy hablando inglés, no entiendes nada porque estoy hablando un revolú de cosas bien rápidas. Perdón. Y pues sí, definitivamente la música universal, definitivamente. Perdón de nuevo. What do you think about hybrid picking, sweep, play, pick, and third finger, especially up sweep so hard, cup so cute? What? What do you think about hybrid picking, sweep, play, pick, plus third finger, especially up sweep so hard? Okay, up sweep so hard. Okay. So sweep picking with some hybrid picking. Hybrid, let me read it again. Hybrid picking, sweep, play, pick with third finger. Especially up sweep so hard. Hybrid picking, sweep, play, pick. Like mixing in hybrid picking with sweep picking. I'm actually trying to get that type of thing on. I'm actually practicing it, but I'm practicing it opposite to what you're asking, actually. I'm going up the arpeggio. I hate that sound. um, I'm practicing the sweep going up and then coming back with hybrid legato type of thing. Um, and yeah, everything is hard. Like everything's hard. Like if you like hard is kind of subjective. If you're just starting out, everything's hard. Like just putting the finger on the first fret and getting a good sound from that is hard. Um, so just keep that in mind and be patient with everything that you practice. Um, yeah, it's super cool. You mean Swibert, I guess. Yeah, if it's Swibert, it's awesome. I don't do it. I wish I did. I gotta get to practicing that. Where are you studying? I'm studying by myself. I already graduated. I studied at Musicians Institute. I studied music at Musicians Institute. Then I studied in a bunch of different places here in Puerto Rico. And I ended up doing a degree in marketing as well. So it's not just music that I studied. Um, Now I'm getting the itch to go back to school and study some more cool music stuff, but I'm not quite sure just yet because I kind of want to work on my like business stuff first a little bit more, and then maybe go back to school once I am like financially steady, um, and then try to juggle both things because I do want to learn more. Sometimes I feel I get stuck with music stuff, and then sometimes I like break through that, and it's like, oh shit, I got some cool new stuff to practice. So yeah, I'm already done studying, and I kind of want to study some more, but I'm not studying anywhere right now. I'm just studying on my own. Can you give any tips to study and apply theory? I have. Okay. Let me take a swig of coffee and a little bit of water, and I'll keep going. Okay. So, how to apply theory to um, actually the guitar? So apply theory to actual playing. So the best thing, probably the best way, is to probably the best way is to find a good teacher that'll explain that. But if you don't have that luxury, um, study theory, study a concept, like be it chord construction or scale construction. Probably the best approach for like a very practical approach, easy approach. Study the different formulas. Like, let's see. Understand a lot of complex concept, but it's very hard to apply in my playing. Okay, I don't know exactly the concepts that you know, but study the inner workings of how everything works. Jesus, I keep saying the same things over and over again. Um, for example, how do you apply a scale, a specific scale that you're practicing, over a certain chord or chord progression? So you got to know if it's a chord, if it's more like a modal approach. You have, let's say, a major seven chord. So you gotta know how that seventh chord is constructed. You gotta know what are the notes. Not really the notes, not just the notes. I mean, you gotta know it's 1, 3, 5, and 7. So what scale fits over that? Any type of scale that has 1, 3, 5, and 7. So Ionian or the major scale has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So definitely has 1, 3, 5, and 7. Lydian has 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have 1, 3, 5, and 7 again. And again, you could play any type of scale that has 1, 3, 5, and 7. If it has a flat 7, you can't play it. If it has a flat third, you can't play it. If it has a flat 5, you can't play it. That's the beginnings of it, because then there are some liberties that you can take when improvising that get away from that rule a little bit, but just as a basis, you could do that. Like if you have a minor 7 chord, you have 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. So you look for different scales that have that. So Dorian has 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. So 1, 3, 5, flat 7 is in the scale. So you can play Dorian over a minor 7 chord. You have Phrygian is 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. So it has 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1. You can play that over a minor 7 chord. Same thing with the minor scale. It's 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. So 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. Jesus, I'm talking so fast. I'm sorry. Um, so you can play that over a minor 7 chord. So essentially, any type of you got to figure out the construction behind the chords, and you got to find out the construction behind the scales, and that's an easy way to figure out what you can play over what. And then you get a little bit, then try to get a little bit harder with it, not harder. Then you can go and study like harmony things, and that's gonna show you how different chords relate to each other and how you can play just one scale over each of those chords. Another approach you could do is just play chord tones, and like a lot of older horn players just played chord tones and added either diatonic approaches, which is just the notes are close by to the chord tones through a scale. You can do chromatic approaches, which is the chromatic notes are around the chord tones, but just always landing on the chord tone. And that's conceptually a little bit easier, but it's still, in a practical manner, it's kind of hard to apply. It takes a while. It's not hard, it's just it takes longer to get that ingrained into your playing. Let's see what else we have here. Did you try to play violin? Oh, violin or piano licks on guitar? I've tried piano things. I haven't done a lot of violin, aside from some, I don't know, Paganini things. But I've never been huge on learning like full-on solos or full-on pieces. I kind of prefer just taking a little bit here and adding it to my thing, a little bit there and adding it to my thing. So I haven't played a whole bunch of things. But I know like piano chords are like ridiculous on guitar. Like if you get like a root position like chord like 1 3 5 7 and try to play on the guitar, you're gonna break your hand. It's gonna be like 1 3 5 7. Actually, this one's not too bad. It's gonna depend on when you're doing it. If you have one, oh okay, here we go. One. This one's not too bad either. Like a lot of them, but if you have like a 9 chord, let's see. Yeah, now we're talking. 1 3 5 flat 7 9. 1 flat 3 flat 5. Sorry about that. Flat 7 flat 9. Yeah, look at that thing. That's arthritis right there. Well, what's up? What's up, Ed? Hope everything's going good. How to apply complex time signature to the riff or solo? You're gonna get familiarized with the complex time signature. You're gonna study it, look for songs with those different concepts, and study the different possibilities within those, and then just sit and try to find the groove within like 7. So 1 2 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 and 2 and 1 2 3 1 and 2, like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 2 and get used to that groove, and then you can apply those type of things to your playing. You could even superimpose it over a 4/4 progression, but it has to feel almost like 4/4, where you don't have to count 4/4. Like, do you? Like it's 3 4 1 2. There's so much music out there, 1 through 3 4, that it comes naturally. It's just grooving and 1 2 3 4. It's easy because you've been doing it all your life. So if you don't do something like 5/8 or 5/4 or 5/16 even, or 13/16 or any weird time signature, you have to practice it. My brother actually has a really, really, really good, really extensive, really complicated book on time signatures. Uh, do I have a copy here? I think it's in my car, actually. Um, I can't I can't remember the name, the title of the book. It's Advanced Rhythms for Guitar, or Advanced Polyrhythms and Polymeters for Guitar. No, I think it's Advanced Rhythm for Guitar, something like that. And it's by, okay, so you know my name is Juan Antonio. His name is Juan without the U, so it's Jan, Jan, and then Antonio is actually my second name. It's not my last name. My last name is Rivera. So you gotta go Jan Rivera, like Janrivera. You can find that book, and that thing's incredible. It'll show you everything. If you can master that book, you're gonna be like some Frank Zappa, like genius guy playing amazing rhythm. That thing's so hard. There's things in there I can't even, like, I can comprehend the concept, but I cannot play it like at all. He's got like quintuplets within triplets, and it's like, what the hell, dude? It's super hard. It's super hard. And the practical manner is very difficult. I mean, to make cool melodies and not sound like skill runs all the time. Yeah, that's what it is. You gotta sit down and practice everything. Yes, sir. Everything's good, bro. Thanks for asking. Hope your elbow is better. Yeah, it feels a lot better now. I actually started warming up today and decided to do a live video just for the hell of it. But I decided to warm up because I have rehearsal at night and I don't want to be freezed there. I actually gotta probably finish the live soon because I do have to rehearse some of the songs. I haven't played them in a long while, in a long time. At least some of them. Actually, we had a rehearsal last week, but I noticed there's some things I don't remember that much. So I totally have to do that. So yeah. But yeah, my elbow's feeling a lot better. I actually found like a really good bass player, a friend of mine recommended this, like this spray. It hasn't taken the pain away, but it does have, it does feel better. It does kind of recess the pain a little bit. It makes it feel a little bit better. So I'm thankful that he showed me that. And I've been resting it a lot. I've been working on my postures when I sleep. I think a lot of the problems do come from when I sleep because I tend to go like this. And my hands are all over the place and it just gets weird. So yeah, I've been trying to work on that. I'm usually just trying to keep my hand like this and put it on top of my leg and try to sleep like a corpse. Just that's so it doesn't get in any weird positions. That's what I've been doing lately. Inner issues from playing ice is the best. Yeah, I've also been doing. I've actually recorded a video on this thing. I'm a wild sleeper too. Yeah, it's weird. I've actually recorded a video on this thing I do with ice. It's like an ice bath, and I haven't liked the lighting. It kind of looks a little bit like this, where you can see the glow, like too much glow in the video. So I've kind of discarded the actual videos, but I have to do a better version of it. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move the camera. I'm gonna show you guys what I do. Okay, so here we go, going full block style. Okay, so I have this water. Whoa, it says rotate device. Okay, YouTube is getting weird. So I have this bucket right here. What I do is I fill it with water, which right now it does have a lot of water. I have to dump it because it's been there for like 2 days. And we get mosquito issues here in Puerto Rico. Oh, here we go again. Let's go into my freezer. Weird. And what I do is I destroy my freezer when I'm doing this. There we go. I have these freezed up water bottles and I just toss them in the water. I have like 4 or 5 of them. I dropped something. And I just drop them in the water and I get my elbows in there and my hands also. I drop my hands on my elbows, and I leave them in for about a minute or two, depending on how it feels. And I like it when it's super cold, and then I get them out. The other thing I do when I have time and when I have the actual possibility of doing it, again, an ice bucket, and I get a warm bucket, like a warm water bucket, and I go 1 minute into the freezing cold, 1 minute into the warm, and you can feel like the blood just rushing through the hands. Feels really weird the first time you do it. I got scared. I gotta admit it. It's like, oh shit, what am I doing to my hands? But it feels like once you get a hold of it, once you get used to it, it feels really freaking good. Like feeling that blood going in and out, going in and out. It feels really good. Oh, my battery's running out. Got like 15%, so I'm gonna have to finish this soon. So I do that with the hands, and I do that with the elbows, depending on the kind of pains I'm getting. The other thing I do aside from that, and now like the icy hot type of thing, and now the spray that I just got, is I do massages. So I might get some lotion, probably mixed in with some icy hot, and just fucking get the arms just loaded with it, and just massage every place, like this canal, which is where one of the nerves goes through, and then this canal, which is one of the other nerves goes through. And mine, I probably have to get surgery on this thing. I had a friend of mine that got surgery on it. You probably can't notice here, like this thing right here. I don't know if you can see it moving. That's actually my nerve. So that is not supposed to do that. That's just supposed to stay strictly through this canal when you bend it. Mine tends to pop out. So you know how you get hit that there and the full arm just goes to sleep? That happens to me. Well, not as often as it used to because now I'm careful about it. But I'm more prone to doing that. This one's good though. This one, like, I can bang it and nothing's gonna happen. This one, if I do that right there, I'm gonna feel like a tingle running through my whole hand. So that's not good. That's probably where some of the things come from. Yeah, inner elbow issues suck big time. I have a channel, but I have to check it out. Mark Music Man. Let me write it down so I can check it out. Okay, so I'll totally give that a look. So yeah, I'm just gonna head out. Oh wait, Juan, can you explain how to really understand and apply type signatures? Because I understand that in 5/8 notes, etc. But when I try to compose or improvise, it's really hard. Yeah, it's exactly what you just said. It's just 5/8 notes. So in this case, it's 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. You just gotta get used to that. Like, get a metronome, get it in 5/8, and get it going. Just keep it. I actually did 7 on that last one. Um, but yeah, just keep it going, and then maybe program some drums and try to improvise with it. It is hard. It takes a while to get used to it. If you haven't done it too much, it takes a while. I haven't been practicing that as of late, even though I did have one, two, three. I got like a 5/4 track where I had to do some backing guitar things over like a clave, and then I had to do a solo right at the end, and it took me a little while to get used to it because it's been quite a bit of a time since I haven't been studying like odd timings and stuff. But yeah, it's just sitting down, working with it, and getting used to it. Um, so yeah, try to program some drums, try to find odd time backing tracks, and practice with that. Eventually, you start getting the hang of it. Just have some cover solo stuff there. I'll totally check it out. I'm checking your vids. Looking forward to your next one. Thanks a lot, man. Okay, so it's already been just about 2 hours, so I'm gonna head out. I still gotta practice the songs a little bit, just to make sure everything goes fine tonight. Um, I have some work stuff a little bit later. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys liked it. I'm not gonna do a whole outro I do on my videos. Like you can follow me on any type of social media, on Facebook and Instagram, obviously YouTube. That's like the usual typical things I say at the end of videos. So yeah, see you guys later. You too, man. See you later. Bye.